episode 78 of the This Old Knit podcast. I am your host, Nina, otherwise known as Ine, on Ravelry, Instagram, and Pinterest, and you can find show notes for this episode on the Ravelry boards, and I make a thread for each episode. So welcome back, everyone. I was sick pretty much from the last podcast until really midweek last week, so I'm very happy to be back with you all and reasonably well. I do still have a little bit of a lingering cough, but I will try to edit that out if it happens. So I am podcasting from the Nook again, and I have all the windows open, so there should be probably some ambient noise between birds, and I hear a dog outside, and we live pretty close to a municipal park. So they have like the softball and baseball games and stuff over there for the leagues that are for our city. So they typically will play the Star Spangled Banner when they're going to actually start the games. I hear like bats hitting balls and stuff, so I imagine that's probably going to start soon. So you may be regaled with our national anthem, which isn't so bad, right? So anyway, I have a lot of stuff to share with you guys this week, and I was gonna do a check-in on my box of socks. So I am actually gonna pause really quickly and go get my box so that I can show you my box of socks that I've completed so far, and my box for those of you who haven't seen it or haven't seen it in a while. Okay, I'm back, and I touched the camera, so of course now it's off balance. Before I forget, because I don't want to forget to announce it, I finished up the Random Fandoms Cal, and I am going to start a new Cal starting August 1st. So I went ahead and opened up the thread, but for those of you who don't maybe check the forums as often, or who are not on Ravelry but still follow the podcast, I have decided to do a finish all the things Cal. So basically anything that it was a whip as of August 1st counts towards this Cal, and rather than like my other Cals where I don't always ask you to finish things, this one is all about finishing the things, but they can be whips. So basically anything counts, as long as it was a whip before the Cal started and you finish it before the Cal is done. So I'm going to do all of the month of August and all of the month of September, and then in October we'll start a new Cal, because I would like to do something fall themed this year, and that's kind of a good time, right? Because fall is sort of starting, and you can do things for Halloween or for, just enjoying the fall foliage, etc. I think what I'm going to do is maybe transition seasons, because I know for people that are in the southern hemisphere, it's actually spring. So both of us have a transition season, it's just a different one. So yeah, that's kind of my thought of maybe the next Cal, and then I might do, I don't know, something, either Stashmas again, or I might just take a month off in December, because I have something planned for January. So let's get into it. That was a lot of babble, and I will announce prize winners for the Cal at the end. So, because I have them on top, I will start with a box of socks check-in and one of my FOs. So here's my box for my box of socks. Oops. I got it at Tuesday morning. It is a very sparkly owl Christmas tree box. I love it so much. And there's cute little owls on the side with sparkly snowflakes. They go all the way around the box. It's kind of one of those that's made out of like it's like a stiff cardboard paper box. That's what the inside paper looks like. and it's pretty big. So my thought was that I can reuse this for Christmas present wrapping once I'm done box of socksing, because I like to use reusable wrapping for my Christmas gifts, either wrapping them in fabric, wrapping them in boxes like this. I've sewed a bunch of project bags before, and I've been wrapping my mom's Christmas presents in project bags because she's a knitter. I think I did one for my sister as well, but I don't remember. I probably will this year if I haven't before. Because you can always use more project bags, and then it's a nice zippered bag, and you know, they can reuse the wrapping. So I'm going to try and look and see if Tuesday Morning has some more of these kinds of things. So box of socks, what have I completed so far? These are going to be old FOs that you guys have seen before, but I wanted to do a check-in of how many that I've completed. So my first one is these. These are in Hermione's Everyday Sock Pattern. The yarn is by the brilliant Shannon from the Yarn at Home Mom. This is her Anne of Green Gables colorway, and I adore this colorway so much. I would love to have a sweater out of this. Wouldn't that be gorgeous, guys? And she sells, what are they called? Like wholesale now for all of us. So you can get a wholesale sweater quantity of yarn of all different colorways for like $52. It's crazy. So I really want to do that, but I'm on a bit of a yarn pause right now. Just, you know, yeah. I signed up for a bunch of clubs, so that's why. So I still will have plenty of new things coming in for all of you. But I signed up for a bunch of 6-month clubs, so I'll be getting 3 skeins of yarn every month. So anyway, box of socks pair number 1. Box of socks pair number 2 is this delightful pair of Felicia socks. These are knit in the Vanilla Bean sock pattern, 64 stitch variant. I don't remember the colorway. Kaleidoscope, I think. They all smell like Tuft Woolen's vanilla almond sock soap, because I washed all my socks before like high summer came. I wore them all spring still, but I washed them all to put them away for the summer. And then my last pair that I have completed are these. These are the Weasley Homestead socks. The pattern is by Erica Luder. This yarn is Chocolate Easter Bunny by Valentine Yarns in her footsie base. I love this color, and it's actually showing up really well right now. So it has all these great little speckles that remind me of those malted milk eggs that have the crunchy shell. And then I did the contrasting heel and toe in Knit Picks Hawthorn in the Turkish Delight colorway. I still have a ton of this. It might end up being in a shawl, or it might be more heels, toes, and cuffs, because I do have more sock yarn that it definitely will go with. And it feels really rugged. I like the Knit Picks Hawthorn. I definitely should get more of it for this kind of stuff, because I always put contrasting heels, toes, and cuffs on my husband's socks, and I don't always have a good coordinating sock yarn for him. So that's an idea. I might need to do that. Okay, so those are my 3 pairs of socks I have so far. And then I will now add a 4th pair to it, which I will share with you. I'm a little bit disorganized, guys. Sorry, I threw everything in my bag to come up here and podcast because going to the gym this morning was a little bit chaotic. Megwin's having a flare-up of allergies, so she was trying to tell me she was too sick to go to the gym and she didn't want to get everyone else sick. To which I said, you're not contagious, honey. Allergies are not contagious. But we did an EdiPod and everything, and then They wanted to go out and throw sticks on the fire, and it was a whole thing. So by the time they finally got in the car to leave, I just rushed around and threw things in my bag really fast to get up here and podcast for you guys before it's too late, because it usually takes a little while, and typically I'm just finishing up as they're pulling into the driveway. So, first FO that is new for this episode. I finished my Felici socks, guys. These are my Neapolitan Felici. This is old Felici that I inherited from my Aunt Lynn's stash. So I'm really, really happy to have knitted up. She's the person who introduced me to Felici, and she was absolutely obsessed with it. She loved it so much and always talked about how soft and nice it was, and she'd go, "Ooh, Felici," and she would squish it. So I have some really good memories of her, so I love that I got some of her Felici to knit into socks. So I did the Hermione's Everyday Sock pattern. I really love the look of this texture, guys, and it is so super easy. It's a very easy pattern to memorize. It's a 4-row repeat, free pattern on Ravelry. Almost all of Erica Luder's patterns that are Harry Potter themed are free on Ravelry, and they're fabulous. So go check them out. I am an Erica Luder fan. So the main body of the sock is Knit Picks Felici Sport in the Neapolitan colorway. Sorry, discontinued. It's been discontinued for a long, long time. But you might be able to find some on a D-stash. The heels and toes I did in No Maker's Scruffy Gnome in the Cookies colorway. And look at how well that matches. Isn't that amazing? It's amazing to me how well it matches. It worked out so much better than I could have even hoped for. They're not quite matching. You can see that. This one, I had wound off some of the ball to make the beginning stripes kind of start at least at the same color. I did want that. I didn't care about how long they both were, but I lost enough of that ball that I ran out of it on the toe, and I was at work, and I didn't want to not finish them just because I hadn't brought that little nugget with me. So I just did a couple of extra rows of the Scruffy Gnome, which was fine. So there they are. They're finished. They're squishalicious and wonderful. I love them so much. Thanks, Aunt Lynn. So, yeah. Yay. So that is FO number 1. Total stash. And then FO number 2 has absolutely nothing to do with socks. However, I'm sure you all will be really glad to see this done, because then I don't have to talk about it anymore. And I feel like I talked about it every podcast for like a month. Was I working on it? I finished it in about a month. And it is my Oracle shawl. And you guys, this shawl is so amazing. You have to knit it. You absolutely have to knit it. Kristen has released the pattern. It is designed by Kristen Lear, who is Bull and Vine on Ravelry. She has the Yarngasm podcast, and she is the dyer behind Bull and Vine Yarns. And she is one of my dearest friends. And I'm so, so happy, and I had such fun test knitting this pattern. So thank you so much, Kristen, for giving me the opportunity to test knit it. It was a lot of fun. Even though I ripped out the shawl like a ton of times, I ripped out parts of it a lot, and none of them were necessarily because of problems with the pattern. It was either I was trying to talk while I was doing the lace part and just not paying enough attention. I don't tend to use stitch markers on my lace repeats. I just wing it. I don't like using lifelines. As I said before, I tried to put a lifeline in this shawl twice. Both times I hated knitting it so much that I took the lifeline out. And I was just like, forget it. I'm going to live dangerously. I don't care. I hate lifelines. So, yeah, if you don't like lifelines and you don't want to put stitch markers on your lace, you have to be willing to rip. And I am. I don't mind it at all. But yeah, the shawl is done. So let me show you. I literally just took it off my blocking mat. So the ends are not woven in because I was sick and then I had a really, really busy week at work this week. I did not have time to unpin it and then weave in all the ends. So where the ends are, it looks like there are holes. It's all over there. You can see that weird little brioche area. That's all going to close up once I actually work in my ends, so no fear there. Let's just pretend they're woven in. Okay, so here it is. I'm going to show you as a half because it's going to be impossible to show it as the full pie. But my first color, my color A, was Stardust on Blitzed. I'm going to bring it closer for that. And it is this beautiful variegated dusty pink. It has the elements of both of my other two colors, which made it just work so well. My next color is Dead Calm. That one I had in the Nouveau base, so it was a singles base. And then my third color, which is in that brioche section, but you can see it a lot better in the lace section, is Lady of the Lake, and I had that on the Volca base, which is her merino cashmere nylon base. So I used every single one of Kristen's bases on this, other than, yeah, no, those are the three main ones she stocks now. She has some other ones she brings in periodically, like Wilderness, which has BFL. She has Narwhal, and I think she's carrying that in her shop right now. It's like BFL and silk. But you can see that all the bases work really well together. So don't worry about mixing bases. With Kristen's yarn, you can't always get all the same base because you're just trying to go fast. But that's okay because they all work really well together. So don't fear to use them together. I know she's also selling kits. She's been selling kits the last couple updates for her Oracle shawls. So in a kit, you probably would get all the same base. But I have been mixing Kristen's bases pretty fearlessly for a long time, and my FOs always work out. So I will try to show it in its beautiful entirety because it's so gorgeous, you guys. So gorgeous. And I am a huge brioche fan now, so I loved knitting the brioche. The lace was pretty simple. The I-cord bind off was a labor of love. Because you knit it in sets of 3, it was 3,456 stitches. Yeah, that I had to bind off. It was a couple of days of binding off, but that's okay, because it's done now. It is done now. So, how would you wear this doodad, right? And I will also share a picture of how I blocked it. I put it on Instagram, but I think that how I ended up blocking it is actually a really good way to do it. So for those who wouldn't be sure how to block such a thing, I think the way I ultimately ended up doing it worked out really well. So you could wear it like this, like a traditional semicircular shawl, sorry. It's hard to do this on a rocking chair. Okay? So you could do it like that. Just kind of, you know, like flip it onto your shoulders. It's really warm, doubled up, because you got 2 layers of wool. So, let me stand up. So you could do it like that. Ta-da! You've got some stuff in the back. You've got some ends in the back. That's gorgeous. I love the ends in the back. Totally. Or one way that I saw that I haven't played around with this at all yet. Tommy from Squirrel Pie was wearing it like this, and it kind of looked like she had a little collar. And I really liked that look. Let's see if I can. I probably can't achieve it as effortlessly as she did. This is what happens when you don't play around with stuff. So it kind of looks like you almost have sleeves, if you can see that. and like a little collar. I think that'd be really nice if you're like sitting and knitting and you want something to really keep you cozy. Oh, that's so cozy. I love that. I love that, Tommy. That's great. Because then, yeah, you get all of that shoulder coverage, and then you also have, it looks like you're wearing this beautiful collar. I do love that. Oh, it looks like a heart. Like a pretty heart. Okay, so that's another way you could wear it. I think I like that way a lot. And then you can see the back. You probably could also do something where you maybe pin it. So you could have almost like a little pseudo cardi. That might be a good idea for pinning it. And then, of course, you could do the classic fold in half and around the shoulders. Look, like this. And I think that's a nice one for just when you're hanging out, reading and knitting, because you've got a great little thing keeping you warm while you're doing stuff with your arms and your hands, because my arms, look, I'm flying. Okay. So yeah, that is my Oracle shawl, everyone. It's a beautiful pattern. It used every bit of my pink, and I've still got quite a bit left of the light blue, and then this teal color. I have a kind of less than the blue, but way more than the pink. The pink, because I did this brioche section, mine is twice the amount of stitches as the pattern actually calls for, and that was corrected in a later errata, but I was already done with my brioche section. So I said to Kristen, you know, I'll rip it out if you want me to, but I prefer not to. I don't think it's going to impact my final shawl. And she was like, yeah, I agree. Don't rip it out. So some people's you'll see will have a smaller brioche section than mine, but I just did mine. I kept it at twice the stitches, and that's okay. Everybody's can be a little bit different. Okay, so blocking it. If you choose to do this pattern, or I think this would really work for any pie shawl, right? What I did, and I'll insert a picture here so you can see how I blocked it. Essentially, I took this center motif and I did pins. So I pinned that into a circle. And then I pulled out to here the dead calm edge lacing, lace edging. And I was pinning it and I didn't really like it because I couldn't get a good circle. So this brioche, I put in 2 blocking wires, and I did it as though I would do a circular shawl, or circular, sorry, fuzz in my mouth, a semicircular shawl. So usually on my semicircular shawls, I use one of my curvable blocking wires, and I do the bottom crescent with it, and I curve it. So I curved half of it, and then I stuck one in and I curved the other half of it. So that gave me a really good, nice circle shape out to here. And then I was able to remove a lot of the pins that I had used in the middle, because at that point I was out of pins. So I was able to remove a lot, and then I used those out here. So the next place I pinned was the section between the lace and the brioche here. And then I definitely ran out of pins. And I thought, okay, well, I guess this edging is just gonna lay there. It's just gonna be floppy and lacy, and that's just what it is because I don't have enough pins. But then I remembered, I sew, so I do have more pins. So I used sewing pins. So in a pinch, if you don't have T-pins, you can use your straight pins or buy a bunch of straight pins because they're a little bit cheaper than T-pins. And so then I pulled out from that set of pinning and I pinned each individual lace point. So I did every other lace repeat as a point. So it was a lot of pins. I actually ran out of straight pins. But not before I finished it. I had like 3 pins left. So it took a lot of pins because I have a lot of straight pins. But I really like the result of it. I think those blocking wires helped a ton to retain my nice circle shape. I wouldn't have been able to get it this beautifully circular without them, I don't think. I have seen plenty of people that achieved it with all pins though. But for me, that really helped me a lot. So if you're going to make one and you have blocking wires, that's how I would do it. It made it a lot easier. So I'm just going to put this on the back of my chair. And I will continue. So, next thing, that is all the stuff I finished. Yes, that's all my FOs. So let's go into whips. So whips, I am trying, as part of the Finish All the Things Gal, to do all of my second socks. So that way I will be set up for the box of socks, because I have 4. I need 12 by the end of the year. Do the math, I need 8 more. I have several single socks, so I think it's still totally doable, because I should be able to knit probably, oh, there's a hummingbird down there, probably 4 socks this month, and then that would leave me with 4 more pair to knit for next month, or, you know, through the rest of the year. No big deal. Okay, so the first one I decided to tackle is out of my fiber optic yarn. I don't remember the base on this one, but it is the Mellow Grello colorway. And these were the ones I was doing for the House Pride Color Cal that Bad Wolf Girl Sits and Knits podcast was doing. Meg, I think, only had 1 month for that. Just because I was also doing some other stuff at the same time, it just didn't happen for me. So I didn't finish them on time, but I had 1 completed. So I cast on the other one, and this is how far I've gotten. So I'm all the way through the heel flap now, and I just have the foot to complete. So that's not going to take me very long. I'm using the Hidden Stairways pattern by Erica Luder. It's this really nice zigzaggy pattern that has garter ridges in between. It's very, very simple, and again, looks pretty impressive. And it has an Eye of Partridge heel. Here's my 1 completed one. I love these socks. They're so fun. I love them. I really love yellow, and I wear a lot of gray, so I love gray as well. If I were to choose between black and gray, gray is definitely my choice. I have gray eyes, so I wear a lot of gray. So yeah, that is my Hufflepuff House Pride sock. And I'm most of the way through this one. So if I work on this all this weekend, I might be able to finish it. Or be pretty darn close by the end of the weekend, given where I am right now. So that's whip number 1. Whip number 2 that I want to work on is this one. This is Felici. I don't remember what this color is, but I have the ball right here. It's Sprinkles. It's the Sprinkles colorway. There's a sock needle sticking in there. Because I have needles in there ready to go to start the second sock. So the first sock, this one I just did vanilla. I don't remember why I just did a vanilla. Probably because I had done a bunch of like pattern socks and I was like, I just want to get one done. I'm just going to put it in vanilla. So anyway, sprinkles are for winners. So I have to finish the second sock of that. So that would be 2 more pair into my box of socks. And they are housed in my, one of my favorite bags that I've made for myself. Gosh, I love this thing. I love this fabric so much. It is so cute. It's like all doodly and fun, and I like that everything's not completely colored in. I just love it. So, yeah, that was just Tuesday morning find. I'm always looking at Tuesday morning pack orders because they have the cutest ones. Another one, this is also Felici yarn from my Aunt Lynn's stash. This is normal Felici though, not Felici Sport. You will notice that it has no needles in it. That's because I stole them to make something else. Because I suck like that. This one is in the Summer Berries colorway. So I was pretty darn close to starting the heel on this, I think. So that's fine. I'll be able to just pop my needles right back in and, you know, start zooming on it again. I think I'm going to use that Turkish Delight color that I showed you in the other heel. I think I'm going to use that for the heel and toe on this one as well. So I'd call that half a sock. So that's 3. That would go in my box of socks. What else? What else? I'll show you that in a minute. Okay. Pair number 4. Nope, not in that bag. That is a different new cast on that I will show you in a moment. Pair number 4 in my Christmas bag, because it's for Meg's new cow, which is Christmas in July. So that's Bad Wolf Girl Studios. This one is a drawstring bag. I don't really make drawstring bags anymore. I like them, but I prefer zipper bags to drawstring. But drawstring's fine. You know, it's okay. So this one I'm doing in another gorgeous Yarn at Home Mom colorway, which is Candy Cane Coffee. So this is a Gilmore Girls inspired colorway. And it's beautiful. But the ball does not do it justice. So let's see what it looks like knit up, shall we? Because it's amazing. And this one she also has in the wholesale sweater quantities. And I also want it. I want all of the things. Here it is knit up. Oh my god, you guys. Is that not the most beautiful thing that you have ever seen? Those speckles, so pretty. I just love it. So this one again I did in just a vanilla sock pattern. I added, this is just from my mini stash, so I don't have any idea what this base is, but it's a really bright Christmassy red for the heel. I kept the toe just with the Candy Cane Coffee because I only had a mini of this red, so I did not know if I would have enough to do the toe. I didn't want to do the toe and then have to rip it back and fix it for both socks, so I just went with just the heel because I knew I'd have plenty of the other color. And there goes the groundhog. You little jerk. He's going up into our garden like some weird guy. We have tomatoes up there. He better not go eat our tomatoes. We also have ground cherries, which he's welcome to eat. Ground cherries are pretty tasty, but it's really hard to harvest enough to really do anything with, so they're more just sort of a fun thing to go out there and every once in a while have as a snack. But they're great for wildlife. So if they keep him from eating my tomatoes, I'm all about it. So yeah, sock number 1. And sock number 2 is cast on, but I haven't finished the ribbing yet. This is the part that takes me the longest, even though I Norwegian purl, so I purl relatively quickly. It is still not nearly as fast as my continental knitting. So just the cuff takes me probably the longest of the sock. And once I get through it, I can zoom along. But I think I've maybe got 5 more rows of ribbing to do, and then I'll be able to start the regular sock proper. So that is, see, now I've lost count because I'm just babbling. Sock number 4. 4? Yes, 4. Sock number 4. So, as I said, if I finish all of those, I will be halfway to the amount of socks that I need. And if I can finish those within the cal, that gives me like 3 more months to complete 4 more pairs of socks. Totally doable. Totally doable. So that's all my socks that are whips. No, I have one more. This one's not very far along, so I keep forgetting about it. So these were my Leprechaun Gold socks. Oops. Weird thing on my yarn. This is knit out of Hedgehog Fibers in the Fool's Gold colorway, which is one I had wanted for a really long time. I bought it for myself for my birthday last year. It's like yellow and white with pink and green speckles. So this is one of Mina's New York Sock Club patterns. I don't think I have any more done than when I showed it to you guys last time. It's just been sitting in a bag because I started doing all of my Erica Luder patterns, and they're frankly a little bit easier than this one. Not that this one is hard per se, but it just isn't not sitting in my brain. I don't know why it's not sitting in my brain. So it is the Grand Central sock by Mina Phillip. And Mina so generously gave me a copy of the New York Sock Club. And remember, I gave one of them away months and months ago before it came out. So I've started a few of them, but they're really not enough to speak of right now. And I don't have any of them up here with me. But this is the one that's the furthest along. And it's not very far. But if I finish those, I would be at 5 out of my 8 pair that I need. So that's good. I should work on those. I bet the reason that I'm not wanting to work on them is I don't really like carbons. I just don't. I know a lot of other people love them, and to each his own, but I am an Addi, cicada. I'm an Addi Sock Rocket girl, and those are just my jam. So that now, for sure, is all of my sock whips that I have up here at the moment. So I have 2 active sweater whips. I have some other sweater whips that I'm not really working on at all. I may frog them. They're from like years ago, and it was before I taught myself to knit Continental, so I bet that my gauge would probably be so different that I wouldn't be able to pick them up and start knitting on them again with the same needles. I'd have to go back and figure out how I would need to adjust my needles. So I think it's better to probably frog them, wash the yarn, and start again. So I just need to do that. So I don't really count them as active whips. So one of my friends is pregnant and is due in October. I thought I had a lot of time to do her sweater, but then she so crazily announced like a week ago that she's moving back to Iowa to be with her family, which I'm really happy for her about. However, that means I have much less time to get her baby gift done. So she is a huge Gilmore Girls fan. So I knew it had to be something Gilmore Girls themed. And who makes the best Gilmore Girls themed yarn so far that I have? Because I also have some from Adelaide Cottage. I love you all, Indie Dyers. But Shannon, the Yarn at Home Mob, makes fabulous Gilmore Girls yarn. And my friend is also a Team Logan person, as am I. Logan, all the way for Rory. So this is the In Omnia Paratus colorway, and it is so beautiful. And it's on her shimmer base, so it's a very slight glitter. And it is blue for Rory's dress, and then green. She had like a green sash. So it's blue with that touches of olive green. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do for buttons for this. I could go with either wooden buttons, some of this olive green and like a little pearly button, or navy blue, because there's subtle little speckles of navy blue in it. So I am cast on for the Wee Liesel cardigan. I've made this before, and it is just an adorable little cardigan. It's also, because it's all over lace, it is really versatile for seasons. So it can go all the way from like late summer through late spring, and you just change the underneath layer for it, and because it's so stretchy, it fits the baby for a really long time. So I'm making this 6 to 12 month size, partially because I think everybody gets like all these adorable newborn clothes, and everybody loves buying these teeny tiny little clothes for people, and that's great. But when you have a baby, like, you have all these great things for the 0 to 6 month size, and babies go through them in a hot second. You don't even have really the ability to cycle through all of the stuff you get before they've grown out of it. And then kind of around 6 months, stuff just dries up, and then like you're buying everything for the baby or knitting everything for the baby. So when I knit stuff for people, I try to do that next size, the 6 to 12 months. That's kind of when the baby's going to be sitting up, potentially starting to crawl. So it's a really cute age as well to display knits. And if you want to put it on them sooner, you can just roll up the sleeves, and, you know, it's just a little bit big on them. So anyway, I don't have very much of this done so far, but you can get an idea of the lace. It's a modified feather and fan pattern, so it has these garter ridges between it, and it's just like that all over, all the way down. So the sleeves are lacy, and then they have this really pretty scallop edge just from that feather and fan pattern expanding. It has little buttons. You can either do them all the way down the front or just up at the top. Because this is 6 to 12 months, I found that for my babies, it was easier if I didn't have a ton of buttons to do. And if I did, I usually only did the top like 2 or 3. So I'm only putting 3 buttons on it, just right here at the top. So that keeps it closed nicely, but it's not too much for you to fiddle around with. So I've already got the first buttonhole in there. And I'm using my Gilmore Girls stitch marker, which came with my Adelaide Cottage club yarn that says, "I'm ready to wallow, Mom." Because I have to have a Gilmore Girls stitch marker with my Gilmore Girls yarn. And it hurts me just a little bit to knit with this. But I also knew that this is a colorway that Shannon does dye periodically. And I figured if I begged her with my sweetest, saddest voice in print, she might dye some more so that I could replace it in my stash. Because I did really want to have this in a shawl with the either the olive green or that navy paired with it. So at some point I will have it, but I think I will have enough left over from this sweater to potentially knit a pair of socks for me. And I thought I could use my leftover Venus flytrap as the heel and toe. So that'd be really pretty. So yeah, that is my Wee Liesel. It's patterned by Isolde Teague. It's a paid-for pattern on Ravelry. But if you buy it, it comes with the adorable little beret that matches. And I have already made this once before, so this is my second Wee Liesel. I don't knit very many things more than once, but this pattern is a total hit. So happy to knit it again. And that is in my project bag that I also sewed for myself from Fat Quarters from Tuesday morning. These colors are everything to me, like that pale yellow, that gray. Again, I would love to have these colors in the sweater, like the pale yellow as the bait color, and then like have stripes of this sage green, this kind of warm brown, and some peach, and gray. Wouldn't that be gorgeous, guys? Anyway, I have big dreams. Sorry, I'm starting to get stuffed up now. And of course, I brought nothing to blow my nose with. We'll, however, do the cough drop. Apologies that I'll have a cough drop in my mouth. But better that than me hacking at you. My last whip, I don't think I've actually knit anything on this at all, but I do want to finish it. Is Megwin's Hermione socks. Again, I'm using a vanilla sock pattern. 56 stitches for her. And then I'm going to use my other Scruffy Gnome leftovers in strawberries for the heel and toe. That is not really a sock whip for me. It's a sock whip for Megwin. Okay, and my very last whip that I have up here is my French toast pullover. I don't think I've done anything on this since I showed it to you last time, but in the interest of disclosure of how many whips that I have, and I really want to finish this because I love it so much, and I'm so close to finishing the body. I think I had one more set of increases, and then the bottom ribbing. So there it is. It is knit out of Gaia's Colors, Quilla worsted. The colorway is Fulta. I'm alternating skeins every row. I'll bring it closer. It is the French Toast by Alicia Plummer. It has a beautiful cable down the front of it, just a central cable, and otherwise it's plain. But I love it. It's so, so pretty. I've tried it on. If it's really great, yeah, I love it. I don't have anything else to say about it, I guess. So I would also like to finish that in the Finish All the Things Cal time frame, because I want to have it for this winter, because I want to wear it. And it better be a real winter, not a crap winter like it was last year, where we got snow like one day and I was wearing t-shirts in December. That's not right, people. It's not right. That is in my Teacups project bag that I sewed for myself. Again, out of the fat quarters from Tuesday morning. This one, I used one fat quarter and I cut it in half. And that was my front and back. This one, same thing. I did a single fat quarter, cut it in half. And because I boxed the bottom, it basically made it shorter. And then this is 2 fat quarters, one for each side. And I just cut off the excess. I love this size bag though. I need to make a couple more of this size because I do want to knit more sweaters this year as well as next year. I have a lot of sweaters planned to go on the needles. I have a lot of sweater quantities of yarn that I want to knit through. They've been sitting in my stash for way too long and they need to become things. So I need more sweater bags. Yeah. But I can do it now. I can totally do it. So, that is all of my whips, and now I'm going to move on to sewing. So, the main thing that I've been working on is the skirt for Megwin. It's out of a space fabric. I originally got this for a pillowcase, but she told me she really wanted to have a space skirt, and who am I to deny her a space skirt, because that's freaking amazing. So what I did is, this is that American Girl pattern that I shared with all of you. It has a lot of things in it. It's got a dress, which I didn't realize was meant to be made out of knit fabric. I thought it was supposed to be out of regular fabric because the skirt and pants and shorts are designed to be sewed out of just standard woven fabric, but the dress and t-shirt and tank top are all designed for knit fabric, but that's fine. So I'm going to do more of skirts. So this is my first one, and I made the pattern pieces with Swedish tracing paper. So Megwin is actually really slender, and she has very small hips. I have this as well. I have very small hips. So I used the size 4 on the top part, and I extended it to the size 8 for length because it would have been way too short had I used the size 4. I put it up against her today, and I think it's going to be perfect because it's also an elastic waist, so I can draw it in as much as I want on the top. So basically it's just a skirt with pockets. I've done one pocket. I had to hold off because I had to get bias tape to edge the pocket, and as I said, I was really busy at work, so I didn't have time to go to the fabric store. So I finally got the bias tape on Thursday, and I sewed it. I sewed one pocket last night, and I love it. I love it, you guys. So there it is. See how it's so nicely edged? So here's the cool skirt itself. So I just have to do one more pocket and then sew the front to the back, and then it has a little waistband piece that becomes the casing for the elastic, and then I have to hem it. So I should be able to get this done today, but I wanted to, rather than sewing this skirt, I decided I was going to podcast for you guys first. I got this fabric at Joann's. So it's anything super fancy. And this is like 1/2-inch bias tape, double fold bias tape. It's my first time using bias tape, and it was super easy. I do need to go back and seam rip my basting stitches, because you baste the two pieces together and then you bias tape. So I need to take out the baste stitches. You can't really see them because I did them in black. So I was like, if I get lazy and I don't want to rip them out, then they're not really going to show up. But ultimately, I probably should do that. So that will be Megwin's awesomely amazing space skirt. And the other sewing thing is an acquisition. So when I went to get the bias tape for Megwin, I also had to get elastic for her waistband because I didn't have the right size elastic. It calls for 1/2 inch. I had only 1 inch elastic. I got an invisible zipper to fix my last skirt that has a broken zipper. It's a hot pink one. So I needed a zipper. I got to rip the zipper out and put the new zipper in. I'll try to do that this weekend as well because I'm irritated that I can't wear it. I also got some fusible ultra lightweight interfacing because I think the sock. I talk too much about socks. I think the skirt patterns I have for me all call for using some lightweight fusible interfacing in the waist part. So I needed to have some in my stash. So anyway, last time I had been at the fabric store, I had seen this fabric, and I really wanted it, but I was kind of questioning, should I get it, shouldn't I get it? Should an almost 40-year-old woman wear a whimsical dress to work? I don't know. I wanted it for a Moneta dress, or potentially a lady skater dress, and maybe an Agnes top. So I had talked myself out of it like an idiot, because I don't care about that stuff. As my son likes to say, I don't care. So yeah, I was like, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna do it. And then I couldn't find it. So I thought, oh my God, did they sell out of it? I lost my chance. I had been thinking about it for like 3 weeks. I was looking at the picture I took of it on my phone and going, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna go get it. And then in the last aisle, they had like this aisle of sale fabrics that were children's sale fabrics because they had brought in all the Halloween fabrics. So they moved everything that was more summer. And it was there. And I was like, oh, it's mine. It's totally mine. So it was on sale, which was awesome. So here it is in all of its glory. It's knit fabric. It is anthropomorphized sushi. And this fabric is everything. It makes me so happy. Oh my gosh. So I got 4 yards of it because I was terrified that they weren't going to have it again. I think 3 yards is probably all that it's going to take to make a dress. For me, I think it's 2 5/8 yards is what the Moneta pattern calls for. And I'll probably do the short sleeve version, not the long sleeve, because then if I want to wear it in a different season, I would just put a black cardigan over it, so it's fine. So I'll have about 1 yard, 2.5 yards to play with to make an Agnes top, or potentially I might make a tee for Megwin if I can't squeeze one out of it for me. It'll be sad if I can't squeeze one out of it for me because I kind of want to make all of the things in this fabric. I want to make everything in anthropomorphized sushi fabric. Oh my god, I'm so happy that it's mine. It's really ridiculous how happy this fabric makes me, but it totally does. I mean, look at it. Can you be sad when you look at that? You can't. You can't be sad when you look at it. I love it. So that is going to be a dress for me and maybe a t-shirt as well. It's a really nice, heavier knit, so you can't see through it, which I love. I hate, I've shared this before, but I hate that t-shirts are all see-through now. It's ridiculous. I don't want to wear double shirts all the time. Sometimes that's nice, and sometimes it works out really great. But other times it's like, I just want to wear a freaking shirt, just one shirt, and not have it be see-through and inappropriate for work. So I love that this is thicker knit fabric, and I won't have to do that with my knit dress because I don't want to have to wear like a slip and then figure out, okay, which slip is going to be short enough so that I don't see it below the hem. It's a whole thing. So that is basically all of the acquisitions that I have to share. I don't have any other yarn to share with you this week. However, I got 2 packages in the mail, which were so amazing, and I want to share both of those with you. So I am going to go and get one of those because I didn't have room to put it down in here because the Nook does not have a lot of space in it. Like, I'm touching the walls right now, and here's the back of it. So imagine it's basically my wingspan in a box. There's not a lot of space. And Megwin's dollhouse is right here, so that is quite large. It has a very big footprint. So it's about that big. Yeah, and maybe that deep. It's freaking huge, guys. It's the Plan dollhouse, which is like all made out of this sustainable wood, and I'm looking down at it like she's colored all over it. That's okay, it's her dollhouse. She can do what she wants with it. Yeah, like it's got, like this is the little bed. It's got these little pegs. What else? Little couch. We had little dolls for it, but she never played with them. She actually uses it with like her Squinkies, her Legos play in here, and she has these like little plastic Hello Kitty fruit kitties. So they're holding a piece of fruit in front of them, and the fruit kitties play in here as well. So it's a whole mix of things that play in that dollhouse. Okay, I'm gonna stop and go get my packages. I'll be right back. Okay, hey guys. That was actually good because I got a chance to blow my nose, so now I'm not going to sound all stuffy and weird. I did forget one more acquisition. So my work has like a little pharmacy and urgent care in it. And as part of that, they have a section of cards. They have really great cards. Like, they're all really cool and different and ones that I don't see anywhere else. So I typically buy my greeting cards there if I'm not going to make them myself. And I found this one. And these are raised up and they're actually made of sprinkles. So I am going to frame this one to put in my craft room because I love it so much. It's a happy birthday card, but I love that it just says happy and it's made of sprinkles. That is so me. So I'm going to put that in a little frame in my yellow room, my craft room. So, ooh, everybody's back from the gym. I gotta hurry now. See? I ran out of time. The first one I got is from Jessica, who's my lovely, lovely friend in Canada. We've been friends for a lot of years at this point, since Meglin was born, so at least 8 years. I was pregnant with Meglin, so she sent me a bunch of her leftovers from all of the socks and stuff that she has made so that I can make Hexie Puffs out of them, and I'm really excited to do that. And they're all in these adorable little jelly bean bags, so I'm going to save these to pass on to other people because I think that is such a sweet, cute way to package your minis. So I will just go through those quickly. This is her Neapolitan from Cozy Knitter. More Cozy Knitter. More Cozy Knitter. This one's No Makers. I hear Joshua looking for me, and that one. So those are awesome. I need to get back to my Beekeeper's quilt because I really do want to add to it, especially with all of these socks that I'm knitting. I've got a ton. Oh, socks and shawls. I've got a ton of leftovers that I need to add to my blanket. And I want to work on my gibbum. Oh, there's not enough hours in the day, guys. Not enough hours in the day. The other thing is a wonderful package from Emma. So she and I got paired up in Jilly's Starbucks You Are Here swap, mug swap. I had asked to be paired with someone international because I have pretty much most of the domestic ones that I want, and it's a little bit easier to get ones from the US, of course, because I live in the US. And a lot of people at work travel, so I usually can ask them to just pick one up in the airport. Airports are really great places to get them if you're looking for them. Often the Starbucks airport is more likely to have them than Starbucks. Okay, so anyway, Emma is in Amsterdam, and I didn't have the Amsterdam mug, so I was super excited to be paired with her. However, this was supposed to be done like 3 months ago, so I hadn't received my package, and I never heard confirmation that she received hers. I still have not got confirmation that she received hers, but mine arrived in the mail yesterday. So, just goes to show, never give up on the post. At some point, it will come. Just might take a little bit longer than you expected. And her package was totally worth the wait. It is so amazing. So let's start with the mug, because it's gorgeous. It's the Amsterdam mug, people. So it's got the whole city skyline, a bicycle. That's so cool. Oh my gosh. I love it so much. So that was really amazing in and of itself. That would have been enough. But no, she included a lot more. So I have Tony's Chocolonely. I love that. Just the name of it makes me smile. Some real stroopwafels. These are heavy. So I am gonna have one of these today with my tea in my Amsterdam mug. And it would have cost me a fortune to send this package. Some Teavana Youthberry White Tea Blend, so it's pineapple acai infusion. They're actually closing the Teavana stores. He's gonna be really sad. I gotta go find him soon. Okay, well, she put my card in. My card was in her box, so that means she definitely got it, because my card was in there. So that's good. Yay, confirmation that my card got there and my package got there. A nice little notebook. I love these kinds of notebooks just to have. I'm going to put this with my Wee Liesel sweater because that one you actually have to keep track of. There's about 3 sets of things you have to, at the same time, do this. So I've been making notes on the pattern, but I'd rather keep the pattern clean because I actually might knit that one again. So I'm going to use this for that. And then she sent me a whole variation of just loose teas. This one is a Clipper, a bag of Keep Calm tea. So it looks like chamomile, honeybush, citronella. I love the little tea bag for that one. Then she also, and this is probably why it was hung up in customs, is she actually bagged up different teas for me. Now, I think there was supposed to be a card, so I may have to ask her because they have numbers on them. So I'm assuming she must have intended to write a note of what they all were. But I don't have a note from her, so I think she maybe mixed up the cards that went in because she put mine in her box. So that was mine. So this is tea number 1, mystery tea number 1, mystery tea number 2, and mystery tea number 3. They all smell amazing. So maybe I'll just write her a message and ask her what they all are. So those are some loose leaf teas, which is going to be amazing to try. A lemon with mandarin flavored tea in a shiny fancy bag. And then she sent me this lovely little drawstring duck cloth pouch. Inside of it there are Knit Pro needlepoint protectors, which I actually could have used some of these for my Oracle shawl. There were times where I was terrified it was going to fall off the needles. Some really pretty little scissors. A little container for stitch markers. And some stitch markers from the Stephen and Penelope Fine Yarns shop. So this is the one that has like all the Stephen West stuff. And they're big stitch markers, so they'll be good for worsted weight projects, which is kind of what I'm doing right now. And they're bicycles. It's hard to see those in there. Sorry. Getting some glare because it's later in the morning. So the sun's really starting to come in. She also gave me this little, it's like a plastic stitch marker holder. So that'll be nice to throw in my bags. yarn. So she sent me a ball of Zebra ball, which I've never knit with before, so I'm really excited about that.
Mom!
It's very Christmassy colors, I think.
Mom, I'm gonna get a video of a monarch butterfly.
Ooh, there's a monarch out there?
Yeah, on one of those flowers.
Cool.
Can you try and look?
You better go fast or it's gonna fly away. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see it because they were making a glare. And then these are fun little buttons. Sorry, one of them went around the back, so I want to make sure you can see them all. There's a little elephant, a bee, and a giraffe. They're super cute. And then this one cracks me up. I didn't want to take it out yet because I wanted you guys to see it in its original packed form because hilarious. It's a ball of Regia Perfect. I've never seen this particular colorway of Perfect, and I've never seen Perfect in person because no local yarn stores near me carry Regia. So she vacuum sealed it. Isn't that amazing? How tiny it is. Okay, so there's what the socks will knit up like, which is so cute. I love it. Yeah. So now I can open it and watch it expand and have fun with that. But I love that it was like, it's completely flat. So yeah, you can vacuum seal your yarn apparently. I would never think to do that, but it's such a great idea. Because yarn takes up a lot of space in your packages. So I sent her a Ohio Mug Turtle Pearl yarn sock set. I got one of the tins from Pandia's Jewels. She is an Outlander fan, so I got the complete Pandia's Jewels tin kit that has like all of the notions and everything in it, and then the tin is like really beautifully, it's got a beautiful hand done art on the front of it. So I put that in her kit, and then I think I put David's tea in there as well as like the loose leaf tea. I think it was the cardamom French toast, which is like my favorite flavor of the black teas from David's Tea. And I think I had some chocolates and stuff in there. Oh no, I put in Buckeye Crunch, which is like a popcorn that has drizzles of chocolate and peanut butter on it because Buckeyes are our state tree. So there's like a nut that grows on the tree, and it's like very shiny and looks like polished wood basically, and it's dark on the outside, and then the very middle of it is a very light brown. So we make a candy called Buckeyes where the center is like a peanut butter ball, and then it is dipped in chocolate. So it was basically all of the elements of a candy Buckeye on popcorn. It's really good. So I included that as well. So hopefully, Emma, you got to enjoy your package, and thank you so much for my package. I'm so glad that it finally made it through customs and made it to me. And if you do watch the podcast, I would love to know what those 3 loose leaf teas are, because I want to try them. And yeah, I want to know what the flavors are. So anyway, that is everything that I have to share with you guys. The kids are playing outside right now, so I'm going to try to finish up this skirt while they're still playing outside with my husband, so that way I can have Megan try it on, because she starts her new school next week. Fingers crossed that it's going to be better. We had a lot of issues with her old school last year, but we got her into a STEM school, for social sciences versus like, what would it be? Materials sciences. So it's focused on like community activism and politics, anthropology, that kind of stuff. But they do also do a lot of physical sciences as well. But just that it's more of a practical school, so they have a lot of experiments and hands-on stuff that they're going to be doing, and it's a lot more active, which is really better for Megwin, and we're hoping that we will have more engaged teachers and parents, and maybe as not as much of a bullying issue. We had a lot of bullying issues last year, and I get it, kids suck, but it was more the adult response to the bullying that we weren't happy with. So yeah, that is everything I've got for you guys, and I will talk to you in 2 weeks, and thank you for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing everything that everyone makes for the Finish All the Things Cal. I do have an Instagram tag. It's in the thread, but just to say it here as well, it is TOK Cal. So this old knit, TOK, FO for finished objects, and Cal, KAL. But of course, other items are welcome as well. It's not just a knits Cal. It is crochet is welcome as well, and spinning is also welcome if you want to finish making some yarn that you've had maybe a single spun up and you want to ply it and that's all that it needs, or maybe it's all done and you just have to skein it and wash it. That counts too. So yeah. Crap. I need to draw for winners. So I will insert another clip here. I'll film that later and I will insert it, or actually I'll do a separate video. So if you participated in the Random Fandoms Cal, be on the lookout for a second video, probably tomorrow, that will have all of the winner announcements. And thank you all for watching. I will see you next time. Have a great week. Bye-bye.